What's up, peeps? I am doing a review slash swatch test on these guys. These are the Soucolor colored pencils, and I got them for, wait for it, $11.99 on Amazon, and people say that these are comparable to Prismacolors. Let's see if that's true. So this is my giant swatch book. It is just a Strathmore watercolor book that I use whenever I want to swatch something. A lot of these I don't own anymore because after my little ADHD hyperfixation, I sold off a lot of my stuff. So let's just do a little tour here. These I still have. I still have all my Faber-Castells, and my Derwent ink tints I still have. I, of course, still have the Sennelier, and I love it. I do not have the Artist Gouache anymore. And the Five Below, these were just absolute garbage. I wanted to do like a video with them, but I couldn't make them work and I hated them. I still have my Daniel Smith colors, and this is still my favorite green. I do not have these anymore, so these are the Marie's Gouache, and they were actually really good quality, and I really liked them a lot. But yeah, I sold them. These are my Polychromos pencils, and I love them. I didn't know how to use them before, but apparently you have to burnish them, which means you have to really push in the color, and like really hard. And I found that out recently, actually. So an example, I'll take my magenta here. This one I actually got in a Sketchbox subscription. So anyway, you just kind of take your pencil and you really dig it into the paper like this, and I'll probably come back through someday and do them all, but it hurts for me to do that because I have arthritis. So yeah. I no longer have these guys. They were really actually good quality, inexpensive watercolors. And these I still have, but sadly most of the colors have dried out. And that brings us to the main event. I went ahead and made these boxes off camera, so let's get to the swatching. So yeah, I'm doing white even though white doesn't really show up. One thing that I want to mention about these pencils is they're extremely lightweight. They feel pretty weightless, honestly, and despite reviews saying that they were very thick pencils, I'd say that they're kind of a standard thickness of pencil. They're pretty comparable to my Polychromos thickness-wise. So yeah, I'd say they're pretty standard. I would say these pencils are performing pretty well despite the fact that this is cold press paper and it has a lot of tooth. My paper of choice is obviously going to be coloring books, which don't have any tooth at all. It's like even less tooth than like hot pressed paper. Right here I'm testing the lead strength, and a lot of reviews said that it wasn't good, but I beg to differ. Like, these are pretty strong. I can press down fairly hard and they're not snapping on me. I would say they're pretty comparable to Prismacolors in that way. Prismacolors are wax-based as well. And those do tend to break too. I mean, when I had my set of 25, I had issues with breakage and I wasn't too rough with them. So these are very comparable to Prismacolors so far, in my honest opinion. Like, I am not a Prismacolor professional, so there's probably somebody out there who's gonna watch this and be all like, no, you're wrong. But it's just my take on it, so don't take it to heart. This is just my honest opinion. I think these pencils are pretty bomb. And with that being said, I'm gonna pipe down for a bit. This is a very long video, so I'm just going to let you enjoy watching the swatching, and I'll pop in every now and then with random opinions on these pencils as I see them in the video. Enjoy, you guys! I noticed this while I was making the video that I put pasta blue. I don't know why I did that. I think I had a brain fart. I fix it right now, sorry. Also, I apologize for my writing. It is difficult for me to write because it is painful sometimes, so that is why it looks like it was written by a second grader. Sorry, guys. And here comes our first and only casualty. Unfortunately, royal blue just wasn't ready for this world, and she broke. It was very sad. I noticed right here that it was feeling a little loose, and then yeah. I decided to finish the swatch before I pulled the lead out, and this is the one that I test with sharpening later. Spoiler alert, it did really well. So my first kind of complaint. This pencil here says tan, but I'm sorry, this is not tan. I think for me this is more like a burnt sienna than a tan. So I'm not sure why they called it tan. They really don't have any actual tans in here. The closest I can get is the dark yellow. But yeah, so that was a weird one. That's not tan. It's not tan. This one I'm showing off because I've actually never heard of this before. I had to Google it. But this is actually like a tree. A crepe myrtle is a tree. And this color's not quite exact. Like it's a little bit more pinkish, the tree. But my God, look at this color. Like this color, you guys. It's freaking gorgeous. And it makes me think of the band Birthday Massacre. Are there any imaginary monsters out there? Because if you are, you know what I'm talking about. And with that, we have completed the 72 swatches of these pencils, and holy cow, look at the vibrancy, you guys. I'm kind of blown away, and yeah, these purples, this one in particular, are amazing. Thumbs up. I love them. I think that this is a really good value set. So now I'm going to try to sharpen this guy, and I do it very, very gently, and it does very, very well. So as you see, I was able to get it to a decent point. I didn't push it further than that. I could probably get it better pointed. Was that even English? I don't know. But I can't sharpen them as much as like a polychromos can. But this is good enough for me. So now I'm going to test this on my Fabriano Artistico hot pressed paper. This paper has little to no tooth. It's very, very, very smooth paper. Not as smooth as like cardstock, but I took that favorite of mine, that crepe myrtle, and we're gonna do some blendy blends. I am not a professional at blendy blends, so excuse my blendy blends. They were good enough for me. Now I've zoomed you in so you can see that I'm going to be using two products here. I have a Caran d'Ache pencil blender, which I believe is wax-based as well. It works pretty well with the polychromos, and I also have a paper stub. I'm gonna tell you right now, the Caran d'Ache pencil worked better. Oh my god, okay, so it's been a while since I bought the Caran d'Ache blender, and I don't know how much I spent on it before, but I just looked it up now, and on Amazon a 2-pack is $63, so maybe don't get one for the $11 pencils. Yeah, I think that blended out pretty well, as it should have, being that the blender is $30. I'm going to test it now on cardstock just to see how it would be on, say, a coloring book page. Personally, I think that the cardstock with absolutely no tooth probably look the best. And when I do use these in coloring books, I think they're going to perform extremely well. And now I am going to do a blendy blend of red to orange to yellow. Again, I am not a professional blendy blender, so please excuse my blendy blend technique. It is not perfect, and neither am I. Unapologetically. So I can't really tell if it's the Caran d'Ache that made this amazing or the pencils themselves, but I do like to think that if I were to use the same colors to just burnish more instead of the Caran d'Ache, it would have turned out equally as well. Alright, and that concludes my testing. All in all, I am extremely happy with these pencils. You get all of these beautiful, beautiful range of pencils and all of these for $11.99, which is pretty insane. I mean, if you look at the swatch chart, it's absolutely gorgeous. The vibrancy, I know I said this before, but the vibrancy. I want to mix that light sea green with that crepe myrtle and just live my Haunted Mansion dreams. 2 thumbs up. I definitely approve. And if you want to do some coloring, like these would be great in a coloring book, and I will have that in my next video. This coloring book to be exact. It's kind of like a little fantasy kind of medieval style. I really like it, and the paper has no tooth, so I think these pencils are gonna do great. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye!